Few figures in history are as infamous as Emperor Caligula. He ruled Rome for only 4 years, yet his name has become synonymous with madness, excess, and cruelty. Was he truly insane, or was he a victim of history's exaggerations? Today, we unravel the truth behind the legend of Caligula. The rise of Caligula. Born in 12 AD, Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, known to history as Caligula, was the son of the beloved Roman general Germanicus. His nickname, Caligula, meaning little boots, came from the miniature soldier's boots he wore while accompanying his father on military campaigns. The Roman people adored Germanicus, but his sudden and mysterious death in 19 AD would set the stage for the tragic events that followed. After his father's death, Caligula was raised under the shadow of Emperor Tiberius, a ruler infamous for his paranoia and cruelty. Tiberius summoned Caligula to the island of Capri, where he lived under the watchful eye of a tyrant known for executing perceived enemies. Despite the dangers, Caligula survived by playing the role of a loyal subject. The early days of his reign. In 37 AD, Tiberius died. Some say he was smothered by his own guards, and Caligula ascended to the throne. The people of Rome rejoiced, believing he would restore the glory of his father, Germanicus. Initially, Caligula was a benevolent ruler. He pardoned political prisoners, abolished harsh taxes, and organized lavish public games. The Senate and people of Rome adored him. But then, something changed. After only a few months in power, Caligula fell gravely ill. When he recovered, he was no longer the same man. Some believe he suffered from a serious neurological disease. Others think the absolute power of Rome corrupted him entirely. What followed was one of the most bizarre and terrifying reigns in history. Descent into madness. Caligula's actions grew increasingly erratic. He declared himself a living god, forcing the Senate and citizens to worship him. He spent Rome's vast treasury on extravagant feasts, golden statues, and absurd spectacles. One of the most infamous stories is his supposed plan to make his favorite horse, Incitatus, a consul. While some historians believe this was meant as a joke to mock the Senate, others argue it was a serious display of his madness. But Caligula's cruelty went beyond eccentricity. He turned trials into public executions, had senators executed for the slightest insult, and is even said to have laughed while watching people being tortured. He allegedly forced families to watch their loved ones die. Rome was gripped with terror. The war on the sea and other absurdities. Perhaps the most bizarre of all his actions was his war against the sea. During a campaign against Britain, Caligula suddenly ordered his soldiers to collect seashells instead of fighting. He claimed he had conquered Neptune, the god of the sea. Some see this as further proof of his insanity, others believe it was an elaborate joke. He also spent outrageous sums of money on palaces and personal pleasure. He forced the richest citizens of Rome to leave him their wealth, ensuring his excesses continued unchecked. The fall of Caligula. By 41 AD, the Roman Senate and Praetorian Guard had had enough. The tipping point came when Caligula openly insulted and humiliated the very soldiers meant to protect him. On January 24, 41 AD, Caligula was assassinated by members of his own guard. They ambushed him in a palace corridor, stabbing him over 30 times. His wife and infant daughter were also killed to ensure no successors from his bloodline would survive. Caligula's rule lasted less than 4 years, yet it left an indelible mark on history. The Senate quickly tried to erase his memory, destroying his statues and condemning his actions. However, the stories of his madness lived on. Caligula's sexual perversions. Caligula, the notorious Roman emperor, is infamous for his extreme cruelty, extravagance, and alleged sexual perversions. Historical accounts, primarily from Suetonius and Cassius Dio, depict a ruler indulging in incest, orgies, and the abuse of both men and women, including senators' wives. However, modern historians debate whether these accounts are exaggerated propaganda by political rivals. Legacy of a tyrant or victim of propaganda? Was Caligula truly the monster history remembers, or was he a victim of political propaganda? Much of what we know comes from sources written after his death, many of whom had reasons to vilify him. Regardless of the truth, his story remains one of the most infamous examples of the dangers of absolute power. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into history. See you next time.